Coming to you from the Strings and Things studio in Ventura, California, I'm Karin.
I'm Katie.
I'm Ann.
And this is the Strings Unraveled podcast. Hello.
If we sound different, it's because we're actually all in the same room right now.
Woohoo!
In the same state.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
And truly coming to you from the studio.
Yeah, and we actually are coming to you from the studio
The
today.
actual
not just
studio.
Ann at the studio and me in my bedroom and Karin
Me in Texas.
her wherever office or whatever. So
What do you call that room, Karin?
I used to call it a studio.
All right.
I call it, I try to call it an office, but it's not an office. It's a place to create and do stuff. So,
Nice.
it's also, I also changed out, just before I came, I changed out my door handle so it locks
Nice.
to keep unwanted people out of my private space.
That's
is
what
important.
locks are for.
Yep. Boundaries. Makes for a peaceful home.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good for everybody.
Boundaries keep people happy. I read that somewhere.
It keeps me happy.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
what is everybody working on?
Well, Karin,
Colors
what are
is-
you working
Colors? No. I'm hosting, so I don't have to start. Anne, what are you working on?
Well, I am currently working on a corner-to-corner crocheted blanket, and I would like to brag that I can start this without looking it up.
nice.
I'm really
that's an
proud of
accomplishment.
myself.
Corner
Yeah.
to corner is my nemesis. It's the one thing I cannot in crochet. I mean, I'm sure there's lots of other things I've never even heard of, but it's the thing I know that it's my kryptonite.
I get it now. So, like, I can just start it.
Yeah,
And
just
I
do
did it in front of a group at Drop-In. I was like, I'm just going to start this.
Watch me
See,
go.
no resources. I was sitting next to Mindy. I think she appreciated
I just need
it.
to sit with it and get through it.
Yeah.
So it's like grafting. I hated grafting for a long time until I had a lot of stitches to graft and
Yes.
get more than the 8 that you get at a toe, which is over before you can
Right.
Yes.
do anything.
Yeah.
So
I think that's
once
the
I
key.
had enough to get a rhythm to it, and in fairness, it's been a couple decades since I've tried corner to corner.
Couple decades.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have to help people every once in a while when they come
No,
through here.
I said it's my nemesis, and they should ask
Oh.
you.
Oh, well, it's Katie has
So
taught
Katie,
it.
yeah. I
Um,
put it. It's the one thing I put off.
So
Like a
I've
gold.
got some colorful potatoes going. I will finish these someday soon. I just measured the rainbow one I'm holding. That's Hobie. I don't remember what their sock yarn's called.
It's like a
unicorn or something?
sunset.
No, unicorn's the good stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, this is
Oh,
like
it's like
a-
silly socks or
yeah,
something.
yeah. I think that's what it
But
is.
the
Yeah.
transition is like a sunset. It's so
pretty.
Cool.
It's a kind of rainbowy colorway. I have 21 more rounds to do on that
Woohoo.
one.
Nice.
And I
Talk
think
about
this one's
motivation.
Pretty close. I haven't actually measured the other one. I love this colorway. I've talked about it before. It's purple, teal, lime green, pink, kind of a salmon, and then white with speckles. And that pink salmon
Yes.
and white with speckles totally looks like dragon fruit
I
to
was
me.
just gonna say that.
Absolutely.
It also feels a little like watermelon-y too, even though it's
Mhm.
not like in the right order to be watermelon, but
It's very cute.
so those are so close. I
Nice.
think they're both an almost identical.
What size needles are you doing it on?
I chose 3s. For like a little
Okay,
while I was
okay.
thinking like, I'll have to do 2s. It's sock yarn. And then I was like, why would I want
It's a
my
hat.
hat a sock tension?
I did.
No.
I used 3s when I made mine and
Yeah.
fingering weight. It
Are you
was
happy with it?
Yeah.
And I like the way this fabric feels. I think I'll be pleased with it.
Nice.
And 4 is a usual go-to for wearable, like things that aren't socks on
See, I
fingering
think
weight.
maybe
And I was
that's
like,
the
boring.
problem with my worsted version is I picked a needle too small.
What
So
size needle are you on?
I think I'm on a 4 because when I did worsted
Oh.
before, like for socks,
Why don't I mean? So I'm just going to give you my internal question. Why would you want sock tension for something that's not a sock?
I actually
Yeah.
wasn't paying attention because sometimes my sock tension, even on 4s, was a little relaxed, but
Fair.
I haven't done it in a long time, and I think it's also the yarn might be slightly heavier.
Well, it's on the heavy end.
Yeah.
Rios is on the heavy end to do this.
Well, I was doing the other
Arroyo?
worsted, not Arroyo.
Oh.
There's another worsted.
Dos Tierras?
No, I think that's a DK.
That's a DK.
That does not have enough yardage to really be distinguished. Because I think it's 210.
Oh, well.
Or 218 or something. But I think you're right. I think it calls itself
one
DK.
that's out, but I feel like it's just a smidge heavier than Rio's.
I would love to know what that is.
I'll have to look that up.
I think I really like Leo. I think they really did the Leo zodiac color well. Because all the time Leo stuff is always, because it's a lion, it's always gold tones and
brown and
sunsetty,
gold.
and it's all right.
Yeah.
It's a little too, let's be creative, not be so on the nose.
But this one is, it's almost Matisse blue with an iridescent purpley pink. It's lovely.
Ooh.
I have a little bit of it to go into a sweater that I'm mixing some yarn with. But I think Pisces is the prettiest one. Yeah. It's so pretty. It's kind of like the blue, a soft sky blue, kind of the color palette of your water bottle. It's a soft sky blue with speckles of other cool tones, but then I think a splash of pink and yellow in there too. But it's very soft. It's really pretty.
That sounds pretty. I haven't looked those up. I did look up my Aries colorway, and it was meh.
Yeah, I agree. The Aries was not that exciting.
It's kind of a reddish orangey. Meh.
Yeah.
Meh.
I don't mind
Sagittarius is very
I don't relate to it.
I don't mind the brown of Capricorn, but I don't associate Capricorn with, because everyone thinks about the fish aspect and less of the goat.
Oh, I think of the goat.
Yeah.
But I guess goat would be a brown tone.
I'd love to know what went into there.
Right.
Because the ones I love. Pisces, Sagittarius is so pretty. That's what I used in my one of my past Musselbergs. Sagittarius. Leo is so pretty. But a lot of them are kind of oh yeah, that's a Malabrigo color.
Cabos.
Yeah.
Seis Cabos. Tell us about Seis Cabos. What's in it?
Well, I have to go to the website now. I just looked at my order.
Well, we'll keep talking.
Keep on talking.
Yeah, so I have this very cute corner to corner. Thank you. Mm-hmm. I'm making it in RIP Big Twist from Joann's. And it's their multicolor one. It's called Mystic Mermaid. And this one's going to a very special baby. It's going to our friends who are having their first baby. The baby shower's on Saturday, and I'm right on track to finish just on time.
Nice. Very cute.
I have another. So Kevin, I make for Kevin's reserve baby shower gifts for his colleagues, whatever I feel like making. And last night I was telling him my plans, and he's like, Anne, they don't know the difference from the times you make them a hat or you make a blanket. I'm like,
that's true.
I know that. I'm only going to make you what amuses me at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, did you come up with what's special about this yarn?
I don't know what it is, but let me ask you. 220 yards for 100 grams. What weight is that?
To me, that is worsted. That is very solid worsted.
Yeah.
They're calling it DK.
Well, Cascade 220 is technically worsted, but you could knit it at a DK gauge. Yeah.
So it's a light worsted, but this one does not feel like a light worsted. It feels like a true worsted.
Yeah, see, I would have been comfortable putting that to work. I probably would have gone with a 6, but it's such a personal choice.
See, but that's so why personal. I do want to do the hat, but I feel like I'll never finish it because I'm not motivated because the yarn's too stiff.
We'll rip it.
I'll rip it back because I like the yarn. I want the hat. I just am on the wrong needle.
It doesn't feel right. Oh, that makes me a little sad for you.
What?
Because that's so much knitting.
No. I did not quite get halfway.
Okay. Still.
Because I was slogging along with it. I'm like, this is not fun.
I think we talked about this already. That Musselburgh is so popular right now. And it's an old pattern.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a couple years old. Yeah.
I want to say at least 7 or 8 years because I feel like it's something that was around in Anna Kappa time.
I don't think that's true.
You don't think so?
I could look, but
I feel like it was right around the time that we were transitioning here. 2018, 2019.
Okay, yeah,
is what I would guess. Right. I could be completely wrong. That might be when I became aware of it.
Well, it was reissued recently because she updated
with different weights.
The gauge. Yeah.
The gauge,
exactly.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
It was first published in December of 2019.
Okay, so we have the right vibe about it. Yeah.
So Seis Cabos is just 100% merino wool.
Nice.
So
It's not a superwash.
That's nice.
But I do think that might be why it also behaves different on the needles. It has more grip on a wooden needle.
Seis Cabos.
Seis Cabos.
Six Cabos.
See.
Okay. Because I really am tempted, even though I'm trying to be disciplined about digging into things I've started.
Look at the color.
Oh, okay. And it's such an accessible website you're showing me. Can you see if it have Pisces? Because I really have like a sweater's worth of Malabrigo in Pisces in mind, and I've been thinking about.
Of course, that was Aniversario, right?
Oh yes, beautiful.
So let's go to P.
Do you know what the translation for cabos means?
No,
I didn't either. Ends, ropes, or cables.
So like so perfect.
Sides. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of like caracole means to spin something that
like a carousel.
Like that or like a snail shell, something that
like a spiral.
Spirals.
Okay.
Thank you. That's what I couldn't grasp.
So then Cabo San Lucas, or is it that the cables of Saint Luke?
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. But that, I mean.
Well, it also could mean cape.
Oh, that's probably more like Cabo.
The Cape, Cabo.
Yeah.
Like the Cape of Saint Luke.
Yeah,
Got
which
it.
I think that is the shape of Cabo San Lucas.
They don't have. I'm not seeing. They must have sold out of their
Zodiac
ones.
because those are limited edition.
Yeah, because they do have Indecita.
They have plenty of it in. Well, they didn't make it in all the weights. I think they only made it in Rios. Now that I'm thinking about it, because I was like, well, maybe I could do it in.
I do have some that are Rios and some that are not because.
But you got Capricorn in it.
I got Capricorn probably in Rios.
Oh, okay.
But some of the other ones because I was going to make them for the whole family.
Yes. I understand that insanity.
Well,
I didn't finish in time, but
they
I got
didn't
close.
have a pink. The color for January was not a color my mother-in-law would have liked. She would have liked the pink, and of course they had the beautiful rose pink.
Oh, yeah, that rose gold is gorgeous.
English rose.
Oh,
yeah.
English rose. But they did a new color this year that was called rose gold.
Ooh.
That is like it's a very good translation in a non-metallic way of rose gold. So I am refilling Kevin's baby part box so that he has presents and I don't get notified like the night before that he needs baby shower presents.
Yeah.
So he's down to like one crocheted item, which I think is also a corner to corner blanket. And he also gives like board books we like reading to our children with those. So he's down to like one present's worth of things. So I put together a combo of colors from the Stash Exchange to make him some scrappy ones. But then when I was at Joann's on my last ride there, because I'm not giving whatever private equity firm is ruining them, dissolving them. That's the word I'm thinking.
Yeah.
We're not giving them any more money.
Ruining also fits.
Yeah. Well, because I don't know if it's the same as the private equity. Thank you for posting that. Or somehow you linked me to the story of why Joann's failed. Because how could we throw so much money at a company and then fail?
Because non-crafting people bought it as an investment just so that they could strip it down and
they ruined.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to spend any more money there because it's first of all, it's not been good sales. Secondly, I don't want to spend any more money. But I did buy several groups of Big Twist to make him a bunch of these blankets. But can you guys look at this section? Have I shown you this before?
Oh.
This was the same.
That's the same
hank of yarn. Yes.
That's bonkers.
It's a multicolor, some other bargain yarn. And it changed dye lots in the same ball.
I've never
there
seen
was
that
a knot, but it was like late at night and I'm just crocheting away. I mean, I would have used
so they
up
got
anyway.
the end of one run.
That's crazy.
I just tied it onto the next one.
I've never seen that.
Wow. Talk about cheaters.
It doesn't look that bad.
It doesn't.
But, like, that's
but once you see it, once you see it, you can't unsee it.
That's crazy.
And it works with this blanket, but
still.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
This one's pretty close to completion, so it's got a quarter.
Once you start decreasing, it really just starts picking up pace.
Right, and that's what's happening in this one that I have a due date on.
Yeah, well, that's good.
That's good.
And then I really am trying to like execute the plans that are in my stash. So This is, I might have shown you guys this before.
Yeah.
I don't think it's progressed very much, but I am still staying with some fidelity to it. So it's my last skein of Arroyo Anemone that was left over from a finished sweater. And then this Gadifra yarn called Creativo. So I spent $42 more to use up the one skein of Aurora. But I think it's going to be really cute. I'm following the same pattern, Missoni Accomplished, but not doing I'm just following it for the shaping and increasing. And I think it's going to be really cute. So I'm doing stripes of each yarn.
Nice.
I'm very happy with it. It's good mellow chill knitting. So I have some good mellow chill knitting and some very good mellow chill crochet.
Nice.
Because corner to corner is so chill. It's actually crochet I can do it mostly without looking, which is pretty rare for me.
That's a nice pattern because all you have to do is find that
big feel hole. It. Yeah.
Like, you don't have to look for specific stitches. You just have to be able to count. And then every once in a while, one of your little things has 2 double crochets in it or 4, and you're like, eh. Yeah, it's fine.
It's less because that happens with granny squares too. It's even less noticeable in this. So I'm having a good time. Those are the things that I am working on: 2 corner to corners, 2 potatoes, i.e. Musselburgs, and my second, I guess, Missoni Accomplished. I hate the name of that.
Yeah, it's a bad name.
It's a great pattern.
Is there a story behind the name? Do you at least explain it?
I'd have to look at the dates. But it looks... So it's Missoni because it's the zigzag, which is a Missoni, the Italian design house.
Classic.
Yeah, it's like a classic
no one ever has done zigzags like chevron patterns?
Well, it's
a specific variation of stripe?
Well, when you look at Missoni fabrics, yes. And so they do not own the zigzag exclusively. And this actually really doesn't harken to a Missoni chevron.
Oh, okay.
Missoni looks a lot more like fox paws or what's Zandy's
others?
Yeah. It's more like that.
Yeah.
But so it's a reference to Missoni's zigzags. I also think it might be a dig on Mission Accomplished, but I'd have to look at the dates of the pattern.
Because otherwise, why would you call it that?
Right. So, or it's just like Convergent Evolution, and they're like, look at this zigzag sweater I accomplished.
Yeah.
Could be that.
My Missoni sweater that I accomplished.
Yeah. It's coming from a Canadian yarn shop. Could just be a...
That's cool.
Could just be a cute ha ha ha.
Yeah.
But that pattern, the finished sweater fit me really well, so it's very easy to just do it as a stripy sweater.
It's nice when you have a pattern that you know that you like the fit of, and you can just plug in something else into it.
Exactly. So that is moving along swimmingly enough.
Sweet.
Yeah. Cool. So those are all the things that I am actively working on.
Nice.
Karin, what are you actually...
Waiting for that. Okay. So, I've got... Since I couldn't get it all on the plane because I want to do one suitcase, I did take pictures. I did post, I did make a little bit of reel of parts of it, but I saved the picture. I'm making a crochet blanket by the Mercery, Susan Maton. She says her name on the video, and then I completely forgot how to pronounce it. I'm like, oh, that's how you pronounce it.
And it's not like a emphasis on the syllable you think it would be.
Exactly. I don't know what syllable it's. I can't remember it. But y'all get the point.
Yeah.
I have... Okay, so it's all these hexagon flowers in various sizes and various textures. Some of them have popcorn, some of them have clusters, some of them are a little bit bigger and have layers and layers and layers of flower. Right now, so there's a picture of the 2 parts.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot of work done.
Well, the first part had 84 hexagons.
Wow!
And I did, and you attach them as you go.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a way to weave them in, but I just like the way. Okay, so one thing I noticed is she's using Rowan felted tweed, which is lovely on this kind of thing because you get to a section and you just break the yarn.
Nice.
Because it just pulls apart nicely. But she doesn't do this long process of weaving in. Basically, she does like a tack stitch on the back like you would with sewing. And because it's a non-superwash, very sticky wool, it sticks to itself lovely.
Nice.
What happened there?
What's the name of the pattern?
Wallflowers.
Nice.
It's one of those, it's not a pattern you can buy. You can only get it by taking a class.
Oh, interesting.
And the first, she uploads the video classes 2 a week for 5 months. I thought it was 9 months, but it's really for 5 months. Oh, nice. Now, she's already done this, so some of this is ahead of time, but you can always ask her questions. But you don't actually get the pattern for the first part until the 3rd or 4th class. The first 2 classes, she doesn't even want you to buy your yarn until at least the first class, because she has this art thing that she has you do to draw inspiration. She says, I can show you my colors, but I really want you to think about, find a picture, pull some of that colors in. Here's some coloring pages. Color this in. Here's some paint, use some paint to pull them together and see how you like the play of light to dark.
That's cool.
And of course I didn't bring that. It looks like this ovally cluster of flowers that go a little darker, light to dark, or dark to light, something like that. Anyway, into the center, and then the outer part of that ring of flowers goes very, very dark. And so there's still flowers, but they're all in dark tone on tone. Mm-hmm. So it has just a really cool texture. So, so that was one. And here's some close up of the textures.
Gorgeous.
Very pretty.
That's some of the popcorns.
Nice.
I think I only did popcorns on hers. Hold on. Do I have 3? Yeah, I didn't want to. Hold on. I've got it. Like I said, I took pictures. I'm going to keep the sound down, but you could see the. Oh, wait a minute. Turn the sound down. Okay. So there's a little reel I made of.
I saw
Very
that.
pretty.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, Mike, it's that purpley one that's like the color.
You run out of it?
That's the one I need next.
Oh.
It's part of the transition of my darkest. Now, my dark colors are dark deep blue, dark deep green, and some chocolate. 2 shades of a chocolate and a milk chocolate, like a dark chocolate and a milk chocolate brown. Ooh. So I've got these earthy tones that'll go dark. And like there's the navy. It almost looks like a black.
It does look almost black.
But it's just a navy. But anyway, so pretty. It goes together quickly, and I'll finish a section, and then I'll weave in those ends, and then I'll do the next section. So now I'm in the section. The next part I'm doing are the large 3D. You see this the spaces that are kind of left. That's how big the flowers are. They will, and that's what will link the 2 arches.
So together. There's like 5 or 6 giant flowers.
There's 6 giant flowers.
Ooh, how fun!
And then we'll start filling in the void, and then working from the outside. But she has a community. So she has one on her website. You go, and you can watch the videos. You'll sign in and watch the videos of that content. And it's really well paced. It's not too much. The biggest one was just making all the little hexagons, but like the large flowers, actually you're taking 3 lessons. So it's because they're much bigger, and it's very reasonable. And then there's also a community on Kajabi. Have you ever seen that? It's another community hosting site that seems to be. I'd not heard of it before. Maybe it's something from the UK that's more popular. I don't know. But I enjoy this so much that I signed up to do her Gloria K-Play.
Ooh, that's cute. I was looking at that.
And it does have enough sizes. And she also gives you she's very much about flexibility. She wants you to make it yours. Don't just copy what was done. And this is why she doesn't tell you yardages or what you need until the first class. Because she has this very art-forward, inspirational teaching style.
Interesting.
So that's wallflowers. And then since I ran out of a key color, and stuck. It's being delivered tomorrow
to your house.
To my house. Yeah. So that won't help me, but that's okay. It was going to be too much. So I picked up a previous project, and I'd finished. It's a sleeve to sleeve type of thing. So I'd finished one sleeve, and I was really close to getting to the. Now I'm starting to work on the neckline, the front neckline.
How much knitting did you get done today?
I got about 10 rows.
All right.
Before I'm gonna read a book.
Oh, okay.
But I don't really read well on travel.
Yeah. Nothing actually goes the way you think it will on travel.
I would think on an airplane it'd be okay. It's more stable than a car.
Airline
reading.
abused you with waiting, that maybe you got to knit a lot.
Well, yeah. I did have a really interesting conversation with the young gal who was there visiting her. She lived in San Antonio, but then went to live in Puerto Rico. And now she was back visiting a cousin, and she and her mom were on her way to Korea to visit her brother. So she travels all over because her brother travels all over with his work. So she gets to see a lot of places.
That's cool.
She's like, I can just say I'm visiting my brother.
Yeah.
Anyway, so those are the two main projects I did. I didn't take a picture of it.
What's the name of the sweater you're working on?
Oh, yeah. This is called the Adventurer Sweater.
It's very pretty.
It came with, it was used in...
Sounds familiar, yeah.
Not Teal Torch. Treehouse Knits had a 7-color... And I actually brought the other colors.
Ooh, I love
Fade.
that last one.
Yeah. So I don't have... So you can see, I don't have my earliest one, but I have some of these colors that I've faded. And it goes from light on one sleeve to your darkest on the far sleeve. So it's not one that mirrors at all.
That's cool.
Is there blending between the colors?
There is.
Nice.
So she doesn't really tell you to do that. I just sort of do and she does tell you for each size how many, like, here's a chart for the 7-color or 14-color, how many rows of each color you would use for your size.
Overall. And so you're planning the blend, though, overall.
Well, like, I've got 7 colors.
Yeah.
So it tells me how many rows of that color, and then I'll put the blend at the beginning of that.
Okay.
So that way I can keep track of where I'm at. So my next,
is that your next color?
No.
It's so pretty.
They got put in the bag backwards. Okay. So I'm currently, I've blended from a purpley gray. It's in here. So it's purple and kind of a green gray blend. And I've blended that into one that has more brown and blue and still some of that purpley gray, and then that's going to blend into this brown that has just little hints of the green gray. Super pretty. That goes into and the brown one
names, yeah,
they do. This brownie one is called Fairy Pools.
Aww.
And then Cliffs of Moher.
You
know it is.
Is that a place? Yeah,
it's a place. Yeah, all of these were
You've been there.
places.
I've been there.
Yeah.
Was it cold and breezy?
It was very high up in the air, and it was cold and breezy, yes.
Yeah.
And this is got some of the brown, but it is now going into blues and teals.
Oh, I don't know if I like that one better than the one you're about to pick up.
That one's gorgeous.
They're both
and then
so
this
pretty.
one is...
I've not been to Lofoten Island.
Lofoten Island.
I don't know how you say that.
So this is part of the Traveling the World Advent. So
pretty.
I know. And I got this, and it came... And I ordered it, like, in the spring... or late spring when I was like, I know we're going to move, but I want this now. Yeah. I want to be able to have it. So I did have to let her know my address is going to change. So check with me before you ship.
Yes. Did she make it to California, or did it go meet you in San Antonio?
It met me in San Antonio. Unfortunately, I didn't check the Shopify before on a few other things, and it got shipped to my old address.
Aww.
And a couple of things, the kids brought with them when they visited at Christmas.
But you got them.
And the last thing is still here. It'll come home with me this trip.
Good. So when we bought our house, a few months in, we'd been receiving packages for the previous tenants, and we would just give them back to UPS. Mm-hmm. And one night we get a knock on the door, and she's like, "Do you have my packages from UPS?" And we're like, "No, we've been giving them back."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, why wouldn't you keep them? Like, if we were the kind of people who would keep your UPS shipments,
like I have room in my house.
We don't know you.
Things.
then we would probably still tell you, no, we don't have them.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
that's so weird.
Why would we be keeping them?
Will you describe this last color?
Well, it's a really dark and deep color, but it has pops of brightness of like a Caribbean teal, maybe.
We know that color.
And spots of the green mossy color that's traveling through like the new colors you're bringing in. It's like,
so this is the color that will be on the other sleeve.
I think it's probably like in the ocean when you transition from like the really pretty like surreal blue into the deep ocean. So pretty.
So one of the things that, hold on, I'm gonna rip the thing open. Velcro, sorry. Just wanted to warn you so it's not jarring.
Velcro is
okay,
a knitter's
so
nemesis.
I printed stuff in color, but the designer has her main picture
in black and white. Good
so
girl.
it doesn't influence your color choices. So that you will pick 7 colors or up to 14 colors. However, if you're using mini skeins, you would use the 14. But I also like that her sizes are color coded.
Oh, that's nice.
So I will follow the eggplant color.
Did you print the whole pattern in color?
I did. Because I like it when they have. I like when designers do that.
Detail.
Yeah, and now if it has a super big picture, like one page is just a picture, I just don't even print that.
Yeah.
But then sometimes I always regret that, like, oh, well, because people are like, oh, what does the overall thing look like? Oh, like I could show you if I did printed it out.
That's what your phone
but
is
you
for.
do get the tonal idea on here, and I like that the sleeves are extra long because I like my sleeves long.
Cute.
Anyway, so that is the main thing I am working on. I am making another fanny pack out of leather for my youngest child. I'll talk more about the one that I finished and the trauma that happened from that. But I had to wait for a machine that will actually sew leather to come today.
Oh no.
Yes, it's there. It'll wait for me. I'm excited because the leather, I've made a bag, like a fanny pack like this out of leather before, out of leather scraps, but they were thin and they were suede, but they were thinner suede, like fabric suede type scraps. It was real suede and it was not hard, but this is like, there's a local shoemaker and you can buy their leather scraps for super cheap. So this is suede, really good quality shoe suede.
Nice. For
inexpensive prices. I think a big 48 by 48 piece was like $20.
Wow.
I can make a lot out of that. Anyway, so, but...
Well, now you have a sewing machine that you can sew leather, so perhaps that's part of your adventure.
So I finished that, right? But the only way that I could make it was to hand crank the entire thing. And I'm like, do I really want to keep this? No. I sent that thing back.
Good.
I got evidence of my refund today.
Nice.
So it's important to have the right tools.
Absolutely. You don't want to be fighting your tools. I hate that.
What do you always say? Work smart or not?
Harder, I guess. I try to say that when it's not rude. Sometimes I feel like it's rude to say it. Like, I'm
like
smart.
You're working dumb.
Yeah, stupid.
We all do from time to time, but that's the dream anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are the main things that I am working on. I had the deadline of this trip to try to get that one project finished, and I wish I'd taken a picture or at least brought it. I brought it in my luggage. And that's where it still is right now. So I will take a picture.
Oh, you're a finished
of the finished thing.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
What you working on, Katie?
I am working on...
It looks really soft.
Hey, you want to feel it?
I do want to feel
it.
Ooh, it is as soft as it looks.
This is luscious.
I am making a pattern called V-neck choki, which a choki, I've learned, is Japanese for vest.
Oh, cute.
So
okay.
It's a V-neck vest.
That's a very interesting pattern printout.
Well, I sometimes print 2 per page because I can save paper that way. And I have eyeballs that can read tiny print. So I was gifted... six skeins, I think, of, what is this yarn? Hold on. Oh, I don't have any labels. Oh no, they're in there. Hang on. I think it's a Curl Soho yarn. It is called Cashmere Merino Bloom. So it's 75 cashmere, 25 merino.
Perfect name.
Yes.
It's 75 cashmere?
No. It's 75 merino, 25 cashmere. I might have said that backwards.
That's a lot of
25,
cashmere.
yes. 25 is still a lot of cashmere.
The color is called Wheat Flower. It's like a
I like it. Yeah.
Beigey kind of color. But it was not enough for like a whole sweater.
Right. It's a sizable amount, but not enough.
Right. So then I started looking for vest patterns, and then I found this one is by Noriko Ichikawa. Yeah, I like it. It's like a relaxed fit.
Kind of cap sleeve almost.
Yeah, with like a little sleeve. It's the oversized. I'm actually paying attention to the ease a little bit. She says 6 to 9 3/4 inches of ease is recommended, which I'm usually like, man, I'm gonna knit. I think I measure 50 inches or 49 somewhere in there. So I almost chose the 55, but I'm like, you know what? Let's go for it. So I'm making the 58 3/4, so it will be like properly oversized.
Wow.
And I
want to know how it turns
out.
out.
So, yeah.
Because I don't spend a lot of time like digging deep into people's Ravelry notes. Like if I like a pattern, I'm going to make it.
Yeah.
But because there's so many patterns with so much ease.
Yeah.
And I know I'm not always going to be happy with that much ease.
Right.
I'm on a quest to I spend a bunch of time digging down into this one pattern to see I like the way that person's fit is. They're not telling me, they told me their finished size, but they didn't tell me their best measurement.
Right, but what do you measure?
So I went and I questioned all these people on Ravelry and Instagram. Do you remember the actual amount of ease you have?
Right.
And people were really nice in responding.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that all the fits I liked on the, it's a drop shoulder sweater, was about 6 inches at least.
Okay. Yeah, and I don't have a something to compare to, because I don't think I own any vests, but I like the idea of this as a layering piece, because I feel like it is good for our environment.
It's nice, lightweight.
Yeah. So I cast on for this yesterday, and then this morning I've been running around like a chicken with my head cut off, because I've got a bunch of things to do. We're going out of town this weekend. I'm doing laundry, making lists, whatever. So this morning I'm checking things off my list before I leave for work, and I leave for work at 9 a.m. on the dot. And so I'm looking at the clock and I'm like, okay, I've got 15 minutes. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to knit for a minute. And so I get, a couple rows in, and then I look up at the clock and I'm like, cool, okay, it's time to go. So then I get my lunch, I get in my car, I, say goodbye to my cat, all the things. And then I start my car and I looked at the clock, and I had not looked at a digital clock, apparently, because it was 8 o'clock.
Oh!
And I'm like, I have an extra hour? Yeah, it could have been way worse. I could have been an hour late.
What happened to that clock?
Well, I think I was...
No, because she got an extra hour. If it was daylight savings,
I was just looking at the minute hand to keep track of when it was going to hit the hour.
She wasn't looking at
the
hour
hand. But I didn't pay attention to the hour hand.
The actual hour.
But your brain just pre-filled what you expected.
Because I was like, wow, I really, my morning went by really quick. Where did all the time go? I apparently rushed through everything. So I had an hour this morning, and I was like, well, I could go back inside my house, or I could go get coffee and, sit somewhere and knit for a while. So I drove to Ventura. And then I drove up to the park at the cross, and I parked my car, and I sat on a little park bench, and I I knitted for an hour, and it was lovely
and peaceful.
Yeah, I was like, I'm taking this as a good omen for my day. So, also, I had a weird morning, because I was doing all the things, and then I went out to my car, and there was a moth, I'm not kidding, at least 2 inches long, not wingspan,
just the body.
And I was like, I have never seen a moth this big, not on display in a museum or something. It was huge. Yeah. And then I saw a coyote on my drive, which I'm like, okay, whatever, coyotes, you see them all the time. And then a deer ran in front of my car on Foothill.
Whoa.
And I'm like, a deer? I don't think I've ever seen a deer driving in Ventura County. The deer wasn't driving. While I was driving.
For a little while, there were some mule deer that were kind of hanging out on the, when you are going into Ojai on the 33 and there's like some merging that happens, there's this little island of almost like you're almost on your way into Casita Springs, and there's this little island of grass. And there was this tiny little family of mule deer that hung out there one spring.
Yeah. So I had some
that's pretty cool.
Weird animal encounters.
Yeah.
And then, it was just a strange start to my day.
Oh,
but the point of all that was
it.
I got to sit for, 45 minutes or something and do some knitting this morning.
Moment.
Cinderella
morning.
Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah, they all call the animals to each other. You're right.
Snow White.
Yes.
Oh.
Snow White.
Did I not say Snow White?
You said Cinderella.
I don't think Cinderella.
No, she does.
Birds and
yes. Yeah.
Oh.
Like, I apologize for correcting.
That is a
But all of three of these
Apparently
women call because I'm
true.
thinking of the animals coming to Sleeping Beauty in the forest.
Yep.
You see, it's an ancient idea of women and their familiars.
Well, it does feel a little witchy, Katie.
Yeah, I was like, these are weird. Like, I'm taking them all as good omens, but like, it was weird.
I mean, the moth.
Yeah, I took a picture of the moth because it was
and
so
the
large.
coyote has like a lot of there's a lot of and I think it's a troublemaker spirit though. The coyote in like Native American.
You didn't see it.
I didn't see it. I have seen some coyotes recently. We were taking Bella out somewhere in Santa Paula, and they were.
We
it was
hear
right
a lot more birds where we live.
That is huge.
But
It was a huge moth.
Oh, wow! Oh,
Yeah.
how cool is that though?
I didn't get that close.
Right.
I drove the other car that day, so I just walked out and it was right in front of me. Yeah. But anyway, that's what I'm knitting.
That is the size of the wasps that we have in the
Gross.
backyard.
No.
And they come out of the post in the backyard. I thought we got rid of them, but
peppermint
they just
oil.
come back.
I hear peppermint oil.
That's
is a
good to
deterrent.
know because we have this. For some reason, wasps like to come into our like upstairs where we hang out our TV room, and they always have. So like.
There's some scent there.
They build like
used to.
their little, hives or whatever in the eaves, and they're always around there. But there's like a teeny, 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 tiny little gap in the metal frame for the window. Because forever we were like, how are they getting in?
Yes, that would be so upsetting in
but
your
like,
house.
it's like once or twice a year a wasp is coming in, and I'm like, this cannot be. So this happened to me like a couple weeks ago, where I could hear buzzing like behind me, and I'm like, oh crap, because I knew exactly what it was. So then I'm like, okay, what do I do? Do I hit it with fly swatter? But then what if it doesn't die? Then it's going to be angry. Do I put a cup over it? But then I have to be close to it. And then what am I going to do with it?
Then it's really angry,
and it was like at noon, and James wasn't going to be home until like 4 or 5 or whatever. And he's the guy for this job. Yeah. And so then I ended up, it finally landed on the window screen. So I ran over and I shut the window.
Close the window, yes.
So it was trapped between the window screen and the window. And he was alive for hours and hours and hours in there until James came home, and I'm like, this is your problem now.
Yes.
Okay, you also know that wasps remember faces.
They do.
I believe it.
They remember faces, and they do signal to others.
Yeah.
So,
that's why I'm like, I can't deal with this guy.
And they hold a grudge.
I'm sure they do. They're monsters.
Yeah.
They're tiny little stinging,
Everybody
biting
can
monsters.
agree that they are the worst.
Yes.
The ones that we have are very passive. I guess there's different kinds of wasps.
Yeah.
At the same time, I know that one got away last year, and I'm afraid when he comes back.
Oh no!
I wonder how long their memory is.
That's true.
Or their lifespan.
Well, he went over to
That's
the
true.
oak. He went over to the oak tree that
live like 10 years
in the backyard that they were
The
supposed
monsters,
to. So,
the mean ones live the longest.
Of course.
I mean, old biddies.
Yeah, wasps are upsetting. But
Yes.
Alexander, because we converted a old RV for his private quarters, and there had been a wasp nest under the RV, and he cleared it out, but they keep wanting to come back because that's the historic, and they leave a scent
their
trail
place.
back.
And they want to come back too. Yeah.
So he got some peppermint oil, and I think it solved it.
I need to put that in my windowsill.
I'm writing this down.
He is terrified of any flying insects, so the fact that he bravely faced the wasp, I'm very proud of him.
My other project is my Musselburgh.
Oh, I love the way that's turning out.
Yeah. So this.
Oh, I love those colors.
Oh, you're so close too.
It's
like
deceiving.
the painfully close.
It's deceiving.
I know.
I've got
It's
like
the
8
painfully
inches
close.
left.
Yeah.
Like you're like, this has to be enough.
I
was knitting one the other day, and it's like at this stage, it's like, I don't know, 14, 15 inches long, something like that. And my friend was like, "What in the world are you making?" And I had to explain to them, like,
a potato.
I'm like, "It's a hat. I know.
It's a
It looks like
potato.
a really stupid hat."
It's a knitted
but
potato, of course.
Yeah.
The yarn is Lang di Pinto.
It's got a little bit of a sheen to it, and then
It's
the
kind of
mustard
shiny.
part really pops. I like it.
Yeah.
Do you have a color name?
That's what I'm looking for. It has a number, but I don't know which of these numbers it is.
Oh yeah, Lang doesn't.
I think
do cute
11
numbers. Yeah.
is the name. I don't know. But
I remember seeing like, that looks yellowy.
Yes.
I'm gonna get it for
Oh,
Katie.
you got it
oh,
up.
no, it does have a name because I looked it up on Ravelry. It is color 11, but it's called Tiger's Eye,
Oh,
which is like the perfect name for
Oh
it.
yeah, yeah.
It's like
it totally is.
mossy browns, gold, a little pop of like a tigery orange, and then there's like some navy kind of slate
Yeah, it's
kind
pretty.
of colors going on. And I figured out the striping sequence because for a while I was like, "What in the world is it doing?" But it,
It
like
takes a long time to repeat,
on
yeah.
top of itself. So like it goes to the blue and then it goes backwards. The like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
It's really pretty. It's almost Zauberball-y.
yeah. It's similar to that. This yarn has been in my stash for a number of years, waiting for the perfect project, and this
Probably
was the perfect
about
project.
6 or 7 years.
Yes. So this is my when I want to be stupid and don't want to think about anything project, which
That's
muscle
Muscle
bird
Bird
is for that.
Perfect for this.
And then this vest is deceivingly, like, when I printed out the pattern, I'm like, why are there so many pages of this pattern? But she breaks it down into, like, there's a lot of interesting shaping, like, more than meets the eye, apparently, because there's, like, I'm trying to see, 6 pages of pattern before you even join to work the body.
Wow.
But
that
it's
would
like
be very engaging.
a lot, yeah. But a lot of it's like sizes 1 through 4,
Yeah.
sizes whatever. So I'm sure like the knitting itself is going to be simple. It's
Yes.
just I'm in like short rows right now for the back neck and whatever. But
Well, I like a marriage of something like that where like the execution is pretty straightforward, but it has a lot of nuance to it.
right,
to,
it's
like keep
it's
you
well
looking
like
forward to the next
clever
tailored,
applications
but
of
it's
it.
it's all
Yeah.
stockinette.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, but those are my 2 things.
Beautiful.
Yay.
Yeah. What have you finished?
I guess it's my turn. Yeah.
Got to get that in right away.
Well, we would never go out of order.
No.
right? Okay, so I had a very productive month. I am very pleased with myself. First off, I finished my first Northerly, which is a sweater pattern that I think is about 2 years old from...
Northerly. Oh, how beautiful.
It's Caitlin Hunter. Now, in her pattern,
Congrats.
it is 3 colors. It's a main color, a contrast solid, and a spin cycle. But I had all these like bits and bobs of different DK weight yarns, and I was like, there's like
I've never
a
known
whole
you to
ball
limit
of
to
Kinsey.
3.
Well, I don't mind. I don't even mind a 2, you know, when you have a good self-striping.
Yeah.
I love letting the yarn do the work. But I had like a whole ball of Kenzie. I think I had 2 whole balls of Kenzie. And just like a whole bunch of substantial amounts of DK that weren't enough to be anything by themselves. But they were like nice yarns. So I thought, you know,
And I love the back yarn.
Yeah.
The
The background
background
is just like a basic, nothing, rustic,
The
kind of oatmeal color.
little narrow pop of color at the neck ribbing.
Yeah, that's in the pattern.
Oh, it is in the pattern.
Yep. So I took this pattern, which has everything. It has a teeny bit of lace, it has cabling, and it mostly has stranding, which is the best thing. I mean, of those 3 techniques, I think it is the yummiest of them.
It's beautiful.
It is basically worsted weight. It's a mix of DKs and worsteds and sports that all, like, if it's a sport that fluffs up.
Yeah.
You
And
should
they
come
all-
visit me in February, so you
Right.
will thoroughly enjoy that while it's freezing outside.
Well, I
Look at the
had
birds at the bottom.
literally forgotten I
So
started
many.
this.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's been on your needles a while, right?
Yeah,
remember
I
this.
started it when it was a new
So many
pattern.
pretty colors.
January 2024, I'm sure.
Okay.
Or maybe January 2023. But anyway, I started when it was a new pattern, and I started one the way the pattern's written too. I have one going in Lux Merino that's navy background. Patton's Croix is my multi to sub in for spin cycle, and it's like navy, white, and reddish brown self-striping Patton's Croix. And that actually is pretty far too. I got all the way through the yoke and I was doing the sleeves. I guess that was before. Because why this sat?
Yeah, why?
Because I hate making sleeves. This is not news.
What?
Yeah, right? Shocking!
This just in.
Right? News flash here. You heard it here first. So I've been chewing on, for a long time, how do I do these sleeves where I don't want my stranding to be pointing in the wrong direction. Well, I unlocked that with my Missoni accomplished, whatever.
Missoni whatever.
Yeah.
That's what it's called now.
That's its name now. When I followed Katie's thought bubble of, I bet you could do a provisional cast on and graft from the other end. And so then I don't have to rethink the shaping of the sleeve at all. And my stranding is pointing all in the same direction as the main sweater. So I picked this up. I haven't started the sweater yet. I promised myself I had 5 sleeves of things to do. And I promised myself I would finish those 5 sleeves before I could start this other sweater. The 5 sleeves belong to my Missoni whatever. Finished both those sleeves. That only sat for like a year. Then these 2 sleeves on this northerly, and then I had 1 sleeve on my traveler's cardigan at that time to finish. So I finished all 5 of those sleeves. I have not started the other sweater.
There is something to be said about having the direction of the sleeves go in the same as the rest of the sweater.
Yeah, it's kind of essential.
Yeah.
So I have not blocked this. I did get to wear it because March has been very cold.
Body blocked it.
Yeah, I body blocked it. March has been very cold, so it was cold and rainy.
Cold. But isn't that kind of delightful?
I love it. No, I'm so happy.
All these sweaters you get to wear.
I'm so happy because this is my weather. This is why I want to live in the beach town that is Ventura, which was socked in anytime I ever visited here. I want a cold, damp beach town. So I'm glad we're having that behavior right now. But it's been rainy and cold and like in the 40s and 50s earlier in the month. So I quickly finished this so that I could wear one of the last,
it's very
under 60.
It is so beautiful.
Thank you. I'm really, really proud of it. It's much bigger than the pattern is written to be.
It looks like a beautiful, cozy
The other thing I changed about it is that's a fingering weight, 24 stitches to 4 inches. I did this at 20 stitches to 4 inches. I'm very proud of this. Thanks for liking it, guys.
It looks beautiful.
It looks
give
like
you a 10 out of 10.
a favorite cozy, delightful, just live in it sweater.
You know what is my now favorite cozy, delightful, and I have not shown you guys? There's been a little surge through our knitters of fixing necklines. Like they'll do their neckline and they're not happy with the way it was written in the pattern, and I've been helping them pick up different necklines or do it tighter. My Avina, thank you. I love that sweater so much. It's made from bits and bobs of old Stash Exchange stuff. It had Road to China Light and all these delicious yarns.
Oh, I remember this sweater.
I did my colors the opposite, in the pattern you're supposed to have the gradient happen in the wheat shape, and I did my wheat solid and the yoke in a gradient. The neckline has just been growing, stretching and stretching and stretching, and now it's kind of it was like a flash dance situation and just so open, and I love that sweater, but every time I put it on it's
it's different.
Open and gross, and I feel sloppy in it even though it's so cozy and very pretty. So I had uncovered, when I picked up my northerly, I found the gray that was in my Avina. And then I found a substantial ball of not the very first color, but the second color. And I did oh God, why can't I think of it?
The braid.
When you strand your ribbing.
Corrugated
ribbing.
Yes.
And then I wasn't sure about how to bind that off when it's so visible at the neck. So then I did a few rows of just plain knitting and did a rolled collar there. It's so much better.
Nice.
It is now my 100% favorite sweater.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I will take a picture of the neckline and show you guys. Then look at this little confection.
Oh,
that is so
sweater.
So this is a sweater that is being made to go with the corner to corner beans blanket I'm working on.
Oh, it's so cute.
It is a great little sweater pattern, and the designer recently gave people who had already purchased the baby pattern, she released her junior sizes with it.
Oh.
So I have it from sizes 0, like newborn, to size 14 children's.
Sweet.
So it might be my go-to until I'm bored of it. It's called Sorgen Free.
Sure.
How do you spell that?
Yeah. Sorgenfri.
Sorgen free.
Yeah.
Something
sounds
like
right.
that.
Aren't they the bad guys in Star Trek?
The Serengi.
Soreng free.
I guess they're not bad guys. They're just annoying guys.
Well, I don't know. Kevin and I he's reading a new sci-fi thing, and I was trying to get the lay of the land with the situation. Uh-huh. And he's like describing these people that seem a lot like Cardassians. Mm-hmm. I have to be careful not to say Kardashian.
No,
I think those aliens, the Cardassians. And then he's like, yeah, but they're real mean to their women. Oh, I'm like, so it's Ferengi and Cardassians.
Yeah.
So you have to remember how the Ferengi treat their women.
It's true.
So they're bad guys.
Yeah.
So it's made in Lex Merino, our favorite yarn, because I wanted something that is going to be easily washable for mom and dad.
Super cute.
And it is a yoke sweater where the shaping happens in these garter stitch bands, so it alternates, kind of like anchors.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But not kind of visually similar, but it goes through the whole sweater. So it's ribbing, garter, and all the shaping happens in the garter stitch. So this is the sweater that I want to bump up the gauge and make in Pisces for me.
That would be gorgeous.
So that might be why I don't make a lot more of these, because it is about as much knitting as a grown-up sweater. Okay, so she has this edging in her garter stitch where you slip. At the beginning of the row, you slip. Mm-hmm. Big deal, right? At the end of the row, with the last 3 stitches in the garter stitch, you knit in front and back, and then you knit 2 together through the back loop of the last 2 stitches.
Interesting.
So look, I'm so glad we're together, because I don't think I could have communicated this. Feel the edging.
Does it make it like nice and stable?
Oh,
yes,
it's like
it's
almost
sewn,
like a little sewn
cord.
or a sewn bind off, but on the side.
So to me, it felt a lot like an I-cord.
Yeah.
So then I was like, I bet the bind off for this should be a reverse I-cord. So I did feel that. I did like a 2-stitch
that's
reverse
lovely.
I-cord.
Nice.
I'm very pleased
and
with
it's perfect for the texture of the sweater.
And it's good and stretchy, so little baby wrist will go right through it.
So for those who might not know, what is a reverse I-cord?
You do it with the purl stitch
instead of
on the outside instead of the knit. It's very finicky at first, but then it has like a better rhythm than regular I-cord. When there's a little nuance about getting your yarn in front to set up each row, but once you get it, it's super speedy compared to a regular I-cord bind off, which neither of them are actually fast. When I say super speedy, that is a lie. So it's this kind of aubergine purpley color, and I found these little iridescent shell buttons that are just these little flower shapes. They're just perfect. So I do need to block it.
Like little abalone flowers.
Yeah. I need to wash it because it's for a baby. Otherwise, I don't think it needs to be blocked. I probably won't block mine when I make my grown-up size one. Okay, so that.
So cute.
And I finished my traveler's cardigan that I showed you guys. Looked like a finished sweater last time. I have been living in this sweater.
Yeah.
Kevin was absolutely right.
You added
just
the
make it longer.
Yeah.
Simple solutions. It's perfect.
Oh yeah, that looks like a cozy robe almost, but much more fancy.
Yes. It's close. But the only thing I don't love, like if I did this sweater again, I don't think I'd do crew neck shaping. I think I'd do a V-neck because the crew neck kind of like feels like it's coming off the shoulders.
Yeah, a little too rounded.
Yeah, once I put the button, I don't know if it's too rounded. Maybe it's just not a style I wear that much. So when it's on,
it does look like it would suit a V-neck.
It feels like if the back were just pulled in just a little bit.
That is something I've thought about. That if I did like a little chain stitch across the back part of the neckline,
like the crochet chain,
that might help it too. But sometimes if it's not buttons, it feels like it's rolling off my shoulders.
Yeah, I could see it. Because if you did it like from the front, just in front of a shoulder, across the back to just in front of the shoulder,
probably help.
Enough to stabilize the shoulder, the crown of the shoulder.
Yeah.
Because the neck is really beautiful. I just feel like it's a little wide. It'll give it stability.
Because it's a big boxy sweater.
And as it you wear it, it might grow without that stability.
Yes, it might.
I think I was looking at that pattern this week. And you're right, because the pattern picture is like a solid color. And I was like, this isn't the same pattern.
It is.
Like, there's no picture of the back, so I wasn't able to tell.
Right. I don't know why. It's such a good design.
Yeah. Why isn't that featured?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I'm wondering if you won't have some of the same, from the way that you're starting your vest.
Yeah.
It feels like it's a very similar setup.
Could be, yeah.
Okay, and I finished in time.
Yay.
I finished Mirabella's Ribbon Canyon, her Rainbow Ribbon Canyon. She loves it. She was very mad at me this morning as she has a bunk bed. She wasn't really covered in it. It was kind of been kicked off in the night, so I was just kind of pulling it off the bunk bench like, what are you doing?
It's so cute.
Here's the thing I'm most proud of.
Mm-hmm.
So there's fringe on either open side where it's not rounding. And I was like, this...
Chenille.
The chenille is worming.
It
Classic
worms.
chenille.
Well, I took she doesn't care also. She just likes how soft it is. I took a great picture of it.
Is that
Man, I was so proud of this. I was like, they're going to be really impressed with me.
I mean, I'm impressed, but chenille's doing what chenille
Oh, it's worming so bad. Okay, what I did
It's like a
was
corkscrew.
I made like a little pigtail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a little unicorn tail.
Yeah, where the
Reminds me of
fringe for the cloud, the white would
it
go.
reminds me of a little bit of
so
coral or
cute.
something. It is so pretty.
Oh man, it's worming bad. She does not care though, so.
No.
I mean, I had noticed when she was carrying it
Well,
around.
at least it's consistent.
But I thought the dogs had
You know
gotten to
what?
it or something, like their claws. But
it
no.
just adds more to the cloud texture.
It's fluffy.
Where
it's fluffy.
is the other end? I wonder if they're both just as bad.
Right there. It's not
It's
as
not
bad.
but it's doing
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Well, chenille worms. Wait.
whatever.
It's done.
But hey, I finished another ribbon.
Yay!
And
That's
that
a big blanket.
was big. That
Yes.
was a lot of that was a big that was another thing accomplished.
That's why I haven't started the sweater I really wanted to start, because
You can start with pride because you
finished
finished a
this.
ton of stuff.
I had to finish Mirabella's blanket, and I need to finish these other two presents. But man, I'm starting this other sweater as soon as those are done.
Nice.
So any evening now, certainly by Saturday when my presents are due.
I will say, wallflowers cured me of startitis because I was happy to focus on it.
Oh, isn't that wonderful?
And then when I had to set it aside, I was ready to not start something new. Because you
Wow.
never want to start something new on a trip. I mean, some people do, but I just am always disappointed if I say, this is my brand new thing to start on a trip, and then I will hardly start it. That's me.
The sweater I'm dying to start is called Voyage by Wool and Pine.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful.
It's really a good stash busting.
They have like a cardigan.
Do they?
But yeah.
Oh, it might be a different thing, but they have like I think it's a steeked cardigan where the body is all just a bunch of different colors of.
Similar.
Oh,
Sea glass.
No. It's Fair Isle.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll look up the name of it. But
Because sea glass is funny to me because I'm doing that one in 2 self-stripings, and it's built to be a stash buster where you work a row and then you cut it and you're doing like this faux steek.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're doing it in 2 yarns, it doesn't make
any
sense.
Right.
So it's like, oh, okay, you need steek stitches in here, Anne. It's just going to be a steeked cardigan.
Oh, Voyage cardigan.
Oh, then I got decisions to make.
Yeah.
I think I am. Yeah, okay, I'm going to stick with the pullover.
Yeah, the pullover's
Because
different.
that's how I have my yarn found.
Yeah.
But good to know.
Yeah, because I was looking at that this week too. I'm not going to make it, but.
Well, it's a good... You could pull out your never-ending bag of... Because it looks like it's a thinner gauge. What's the gauge on it?
I think it's DK actually.
Oh, okay. It's just... It looks so
Oh,
drapey.
no. Maybe it is fingering. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Anyway.
Because you could pull out your never-ending bag of fingering weight.
I could. It still is
Since
around.
you said never ending, the theme to that movie is stuck in my head now.
Oh. They're making another, and there are just things that shouldn't be done.
No.
Like, that is a standalone as it is.
Yep.
Ooh, there's a hat, too.
Yeah.
Cute.
Well, what have you finished this month, Karin?
Well, I'm not going to start with the thing I'm wearing. I did it, and I'll talk about that in a moment.
28 stitches.
Let me pull up my pictures. I finished the test knit of... What is the name?
I don't know.
Something cowl. It's
or is it that cool shaped one that looks like a infinite, like a two V's? Yeah. That's cool.
That I made with two. I started with the Wonder Fluff, but then I thought, oh, I like the idea of this being two ombre Wonder Fluffs, and they both go dark to light, but the light one is really like light to almost no color, and the other one's like super dark green, almost black.
Yeah,
you up close,
it's really
you can see
pretty.
that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it is really long. In order to, you're supposed to, it's like this long,
like two V's connected by two lines,
exactly,
right?
Exactly. It goes pretty quickly because it's only about 8.5 inches deep. Because by the time okay, so I try to take these pictures, and I've got the smile of a rock, but inside I'm like super happy.
Oh.
And then the camera, it's like cricket. And also it was windy that day, but
I like that picture of you. It's in the really well styled. Like that blouse complements the
I did pick
really
out the blouse to go with it, but it had to do, but something about the angle, and it was windy, and I got nervous, I think, because my neighbor was talking to his buddy as they were like doing the ride-on mowers in the back. They can't see me or anything like that, but I just felt very self-conscious in my backyard.
You felt their presence.
I felt their presence. So, and plus I'm camera phobic, but
I like that picture.
What I look in the mirror, I think that what I see in the mirror is not what the camera shows.
Yeah.
And I get very insecure, like, wait a minute, which is the me that other people are seeing? Are they seeing the mirror me? Because I like mirror me. But camera me doesn't feel like me.
Well, we see camera you because that's how the eye perceives. But we like what you look like.
I'm scared.
But none of us ever really, unless we're looking at pictures, you don't get to perceive what people see.
You have no idea.
Because we are all perceiving ourselves in reflections.
Yeah.
We're
backwards.
Yeah.
So I think this would be considered mosaic. I'm doing one color at a time and going either in front or behind a stitch.
I think that's right. It's really cool.
Yeah. What is it called? It's by Detroit Knots. I'll look it up. Let me make a note of... I'm running out of space on my little scrap of paper. What did I say my first one was? Yeah.
First.
Oh, this is the first one. Okay, so...
We don't know.
Anyway. Okay, so moving on. So then I made this. I also did a test knit, and this is the sweater. This is 3 yarns held together. It's got a very fluffy, and it is meant to be cropped. It does kind of, it feels like it rides up in the front, but that's not it. I've got short rows in the back.
Yeah, it's really cute, the shape.
And the buttons.
The buttons are perfect.
I love these buttons. These buttons are ceramic buttons that were hand painted by someone in the Midwest. But it's a cropped cardigan with long sleeves, done on like 15s, so it's super fast. I like it. But what I like is it does have pockets, but the pockets are not visible from the front, from the outside. Otherwise, it would cover all of the body and right up into the bosom. Thank you. Instead, you sew the pockets to the inside of your cardigan.
I like that.
Yeah. Think about it. If you're going around, no one can pick your pocket without reaching.
Because that's the only thing that the traveler cardigan is missing to be a perfect sweater, is it's missing pockets.
I thought it would. I didn't know if it would be comfortable to have pockets on the inside, but I just reach right in and grab it.
Yeah, that's super cool.
You do have to be careful not to have heavy things. Like if I have my phone, it looks like I have a droopy boob. So,
well, your pants have pockets.
They do. They're shallow. But they're shallow pockets, and my phone falls out.
True.
But well, that's what purses are. That's what little square bags are for.
Stop talking about having less pockets, women.
Yeah, right.
Be proud of your pockets.
I like my pockets. I just like them to be functioning.
Yeah.
So this is called. I'm horrible with names. I will look this up because I just finished. I can find it real quick.
Very cute.
Mm-hmm. Looks like
That is called Stick Together.
Stick Together.
cute.
Because you have multiple... It's written for multiple strands stuck together, held together.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So, it was really enjoyable to make something that's quick, very satisfying. It has that really cool, like, sewn bind off, that looks like the
tubular bind off.
It looks like tubular. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And I will look up this cowl, which I knew until I actually asked myself what this cowl is. It starts with a G. Granite. Nope, not the granite vest. Something else. That's a different one. Hyperfocus. It's called a Hyperfocus cowl. Granite vest was the other one that I did for Natalie of Detroit Knots.
Cool.
Oh, it's a very cute sweater.
Nice. Well, I finished one thing. I finished my... Where is it? My rainbow potato.
Ooh, let's see. Oh my gosh, that turned out cute.
So this is Gauge Dye Works in the colorway Color Wheel. So I started on one end of the yarn and I went to point A or B or whatever in the pattern, wherever the brim starts, in the number of stripes. Like I did stripes until I got there. And then I used the gray, like every inch of the gray basically, to do the brim. And then I counted how many stripes I had used to make the first half. Mm-hmm. And then I measured off where I wanted the colors to be for the second half. Because I didn't want it to be like, if I had started at the same spot, I would have ended with two like similar-ish hats. And I wanted two distinct hats out of it. So one end is like blue to purple to pink, and the other is green to yellow to orange.
That's perfect.
Kind of corally at the top.
Yeah.
With gray in the middle. So
Good
then I
planning.
have two hats in one. And this was my first fingering weight one that I did. So this was on the size 3s, and that's what I'm doing for my... I can't make it do the thing. My other one that I'm doing. I'm basically going to copy this, because the first Musselburgh I made fits, but it's too short. So this one I made, it's the sizing, I think, for the large, but the length for the extra large or something like that. Because I wanted to be able to turn up the brim.
Turn up the brim.
Better.
Yeah. So.
What a great hat. Look at that.
That's so cute.
So then I can choose which side I want it to
that
be.
because when you turn it up,
That's
it's not
okay.
really
The other
covering
side
much
is
of
like
your
a
stripe.
is like a citrusy, and the other one.
Yeah.
Cute.
I'm happy with it. I haven't worn it yet, but I have that, which I feel like is a lot of knitting. So that was like almost an entire ball of sock yarn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are a lot of knitting.
Yes, they are.
I think
I'm
I
happy
have
with it.
one more
But
in
you
mind.
but you get a cozy double thick hat.
And they go faster than, like, at least I think, than I expect, because it's not like a ton of stitches in a round. So you could sit down and like crank out an inch in, a little bit of time.
I think having the color blocking emotionally helps a lot.
Sure, because the one I'm doing now, I mean, the colors are changing on its own.
Yes.
But like, it's not as exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to engage in. You don't engage in the same way as, ooh, what color's
Like,
next?
I would love a plain, like, nice, some nice basic color that I'm going to wear all the time. Yeah. Because, like, in reality, I'm not going to wear this rainbow hat all the time.
I know.
Unless it's, like, Pride Month and I'm, like,
Yay.
at a parade or something. But then it's June, and when am I going to wear a hat in June?
Right.
But, like, it would be nice to make a plain color.
Yeah, you took the rainbow out of it.
That's true.
But I agree.
Yeah.
Over here with my two wild stripes.
Like, I would love, like, a nice, chocolatey brown or something that I'm going to wear all the time, but I don't want to knit that.
Snore. I know. That's why when I was doing my Christmas ones, I was like, the black
brown.
one happens first.
Yes.
And it was a slog.
Yeah.
My one that's in Sagittarius and Va, that brioche scarf I was showing you guys, they go really well together.
Nice.
So maybe if I wear a scarf and hat kind of kid, maybe I'll make an effort to do
What if
that.
I could make it in dyed in the wool? Because I've uncovered my stash of dyed in the wool that's been sitting here.
Of course, you can make it in anything. That's what's
Anything.
amazing about
That's
it.
the beauty of it. Yeah, it definitely seems like, at least for the time, I don't know how long it's going to last. Like, I'm always going to have one going, because it's like my take it with me.
It's a
project.
perfect, like,
it lives
you're
in my
stuck
car.
somewhere and, oh no, I don't have a project I'm actually hyper-focusing on.
Right.
But I have something.
I need something.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, that's fun.
That's it.
We're confirmed potato makers, I guess.
Yes.
But I have one more in mind, which is, this is a long road. So I have a ball of sour ball that is in gray, orange, and brown, kind of grays and autumnal colors. Mm-hmm. There is a shawl called Cyclades from a space tricot. That is like, they did it in cream and then one ball of sour ball to make the fringe. So I have 3 hanks of Siri Rios, which turns out to be way too much because I actually also had like a 75-gram ball of it hiding somewhere. So I'm going to end up with 1 whole ball of Siri left over. Siri is the gray base one with speckles of rust. You're talking
to Siri on my phone.
Oh, sorry. Well, it's gray base with rust, orange, brown. It's very pretty.
Nice.
And it will go beautifully with the sour ball that I will use for fringe. And I'm like, I don't really want to ask to return the 3rd hank. So what am I going to do with this 3rd hank? Have you guys ever seen the color birthday cake from hedgehog fibers? It is so delicious, and I really, really fixated on it. I put together a picture of the two together, and I don't know that they're like a super great combo, but I am obsessed with the idea that they will be my next...
Yeah, they will be together.
Yes, they'll be my next Musselburgh. Because, like, the oranges and the browns kind of overlap.
Oh, yeah.
So I think I'm going to do a 50-50.
Oh, cool.
Of those two.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
I ordered the last hank of birthday cake from Wool & Company. So the hedgehog's fibers color is like a soft lavender with bursts of hot pink and orange and black and brown, kind of the same way that the Malabrigo color works. I think it'll be great.
Exciting stuff. Well, what are you obsessed with this month? Anything? Anybody have anything?
Yes. You might like this a lot.
Okay.
You might know about it already.
Okay.
Have you guys heard of the concept album Epic the Musical?
Mm-mm.
It is a series of several small albums where this guy is put to... Because, like, sometimes artists do this where they do a concept musical, right?
Sure.
And they're trying to sell it.
Yeah.
So it's a Greek myths. It's like 6 short albums.
As
with
in
different
epic.
Yeah.
Greek epics.
Yes.
That's cool.
And it's really fun.
Yeah.
I recommend, like, I found it on... Actually, I found it's on an Instagram trend right now about, like, Calliope singing to Odysseus of, like, who's Penelope? So if you've heard any lyrics like that.
I feel like I have heard that.
Yeah, that's where it's coming from.
Okay.
And so I'm like, I have to know more about this.
Yeah.
And so it's several short albums where they're working out the concept on this. It's
That's awesome.
On YouTube music too. I use YouTube Music instead of all the other things, Spotify or Pandora.
Spotify.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 short albums. 40 tracks.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's wonderful.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
I will look into it.
So that is my current obsession.
Cool. Karin, what do you got?
Repeat.
I really like adding. I still am obsessed with this idea of adding quilting into things, like quilting on a side on a pair of shoes that I make. You know, which I need to finish those shoes. I just unpacked them.
Oh well, that's a step in the right direction.
I'm like, I got something to work on when I get home. But there's this Tulipan Originals on Instagram, like Tulip and AN Originals. She does these
Oh, the quilted
panels
jeans, yeah.
in the side panel. I know it's probably been done, but as I grew up in the era of bell bottoms.
Well, she's not original, but
no,
she's doing it well.
I saw someone today with quilted patches on their jeans today at work. It was very cute.
See, it doesn't even have to be the side panel. She has ones where she just is like adding it at the knees, and it's another way of mending or adding, or like along the bottom, adding some like detail to the bottom of your pants. Like there's another one that I really, really like where she has added crochet to, this person just added like a fabric, see, to the bottom of the pants.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. I have seen that. I love it. Cool. Yes.
But because I am like right now really into the crochet flowers into a blanket, I want to take that and make it into a yoke sweater. That has like small to large sweaters. Yes. It's different than the capelet pattern that she's got.
Yeah.
But I got to figure out how do you make the different sizes. You know, how to adjust that, because it's not like going in the round. You're piecing hexagons, and whether you do another zigzag edition of them, and how does it do that?
You could treat, because when you do a yoke, right, it's a triangle of increase that all fits together. So I get, or like a
wedges, or something like that.
I mean, I think you just unlocked it when you did that gesture. That maybe it's some kind of
like a zigzaggy wedge.
Yeah. Ooh.
So
cool.
So I've got stash of other projects like that were some of those little extra mini skeins I did from this that I was gifted. I thought I could play with those and make into a stash sweater.
Nice.
And it could be just flowers along the yoke. It might just be flowers along a sleeve. I think that would be pretty. I don't know about the flowers at the bottom. I don't know if I want flowers across my belly.
Well, if it's the whole thing, though.
But a whole thing, like wearing a whole garden of, would be really pretty.
That would be
cool. Where maybe the flowers are the same colors, but the background changes from light to dark or something. Great. You know me, I love a good gradient.
Right.
Did not get enough gradient. So
nice.
Anyway,
it's fun to think about.
So that's kind of where my brain is. Where can I put crochet flowers?
My current obsession is, like a lot of people right now, is White Lotus.
This weekend we're going to start it. I made Kevin promise, because he's always like, oh, I only have 1 or 2 inside me, whatever. And I'm like, Kevin, like, it doesn't have to be the first weekend I have off, but the weekend of the 29th, we're going to binge.
We're going to watch it.
Does the first season get better? Because
the first season's
incredible. Great. I mean, the end is a beautiful climax.
I just rewatched
all the worst people in the world getting what they deserve.
I just rewatched the first season, and the last episode is just pure
magic.
Gold.
Yeah. But I've only gotten, and maybe
they're hateful people, Karen. You're not going to like
got them the first 2 episodes.
Oh, well,
and it may just be that my brain, when I first tried watching it, was not in a good place, because a lot of times there's things that are like, I don't get it, I don't really like it, and I come back and I go, I don't know what my problem was.
The first season's great. The second season is
like
good.
It. Yeah,
it's good.
First season's gold, though.
Yeah, this third season is shaping up to be very good, but it's mostly like the stories are like okay. The drama is not like, I mean, it's spicy, whatever, but the actors in this season are just like, Parker Posey is killing it. Yeah. I love her so much.
Oh, see, I'm a big fan of her.
It has Jason Isaacs in it.
Jason Isaacs. Walton Goggins is so good.
I love him so much.
Sam Rockwell had
I heard. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because his wife's in it.
Yes.
And it was like a big surprise that
I'm watching it by myself. Like, James isn't like that into it. But I made him sit down and watch that scene with Sam Rockwell, because I'm like, this is just a piece of acting I need you to witness. It's so good. So,
I can't.
We got 2 episodes left of the season coming. One on Sunday, and then I think it's 8 episodes this season.
Oh, that's cool. So we'll only live in suspense for 1 week.
Yeah, and that's a good one, like the climax, you know? So.
Oh, they're so good. Everyone gets what they deserve, and some people don't.
Yeah.
In good and bad ways.
Yep. Okay.
So I think, I mean, it's hard to find anyone to like in the show. There are a couple of likable people.
There's a couple token people that you're rooting for.
Yeah. but they're all despicable, terrible people.
Oh, okay.
So
it's bad
if you're
people
not
doing bad things,
right, if
but
you're
then
not
getting
connecting,
punished mostly for
mostly, if you're not connecting, there's nothing wrong with you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Your decency is intact.
Look, I had a hard time getting over the worker who's pregnant in the first episode, who's still forced to work.
Yeah, she doesn't come back. That was just purely an example of like,
how badly they're treated.
Going on. Yeah.
I forgot all about her.
Yeah, I watched that first season again, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that part.
Yeah. There's a part in the second season that I cannot get over with Jennifer
Coolidge.
Yeah, Jennifer Coolidge's character, but I'm not going to talk about it
I
because
like
you haven't
that,
been there.
No, I like that actress a lot.
Oh,
so
course.
I was
incredible.
Yeah,
I would think that I would like more of it. So I think when I first watched it was
I'm sorry.
I think
she's so good.
I think the problem was when I first tried watching it, I was in the process of packing and leaving. My world was changing. And that just, it was not a good time to start something new and have any appreciation for it.
This is junk food.
My one...
Well done, junk food.
My one disappointment with this season is the theme song.
How about the visuals of the opening?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Okay.
And, like, it's as good as the other seasons, you know, like, Mike White is incredible, but...
I always want fabric out of the background.
The wallpapers and stuff, yeah. It's good stuff.
I wonder if you can find that on Spoonflower.
I
bet someone has done that.
Yeah.
Because there's always fan art for stuff like that.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's a treat. Yeah. Well, I think that's it for us tonight.
Awesome.
Make sure you check out our Patreon at patreon.com/stringsunraveled, and you can find us on Instagram. Same thing, Strings Unraveled. Podcast, I think, is at the end of that thing. I don't know. You'll find us. You know where to find us. And, yeah, I guess we'll talk to you guys next month. Am I forgetting anything?
I don't think so.
Cool.
Nope.
Yeah. All right, bye, guys.
Bye.